Greetings everyone, my name is Otterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. In today's morning weekly livestream, I'll be covering a combination of both Veersmith levels and other levels I found online, primarily focusing on the former for the next 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then afterwards I'll showcase some art posted on the Discord server. Now, before I get on my case, yes I know, the last time I streamed Maker was 2 weeks ago. The reason for that is because I wanted to take a break because the levels were starting to get... nothing was really standing out, so I needed to refresh myself. And Buster does have a point, but let me put it this way. If the levels this week aren't really that interesting, then next Saturday, or a week from today, I'm not going to be streaming Maker. Instead, I'll be streaming Steam Next Fest demos in the morning. I know, Maker's been here for about 7 years, but at a certain point, as more and more people depart the user base and level design base, the good, interesting, and or unique content dries up. It's not just limited to Maker though, it also applies to most other design communities. My apologies to those newcomers coming into Maker as a present day. You have far less competition. Well, you have far less competition, sure, but the downside is that, well, there's also less people to actually help get you better at making levels. You may have less competition, but you'll also have less people to actually try your stages. So yeah, less chances to get better. In any case, let's begin with this stage. Yellow Devil Destroy Our Lawn by Oscar, 115 play, score 37. I'm mostly looking forward to the 4th stage, but we'll see. So welcome to stream Jedok, Buster, Oscar, Raccoon, Pixel Boy, Sunflora, Romance V, all the lurkers, and anyone else who I missed. Okay, that was certainly an opening. What's going on in there? Okay, that's certainly an interesting way to have this fight. I wouldn't call this good, but it's certainly different. So, props for that. Yellow Devil looked they were too lazy to travel to the other part of the screen. So instead, they just do this elaborate effort to just turn. Whereas most other characters can turn on a dime, Yellow Devil takes several seconds to actually reform correctly. Lol. Yellow Devil if they came for another game where turning is more of an... Well, even in most games, turning doesn't take this long. For that humorous bit, I'll give it a thumbs up. The rest is just bleh. Now, you could elaborate this to make it much more of an interesting fight. Hey, Coffee. Second up is Digger Man by Power Simplified. 21 plays and a score of 5. It's time to rock and stone, I guess. Nah, that's better, but I'm kind of, I have a dearth of good jokes. I will say this, in regards to the upcoming Steam Next Fest demos, there are a few demos I'm really looking forward to. Oh shoot, that was close. And I got hit there. And I'll be looking forward to either streaming or recording those. And yes, just like the last Steam Next Fest, I will have a co-op stream one evening with Joe and Jordan to cover some of the co-op stuff. I wouldn't mind doing this if there was a warning sign somewhere. like warning, spike fall, or slower scrolling. Like, if the game scrolling was slower, I wouldn't mind as much because, hey, more time to react. Although you still could get screwed over if you initiated the fall too much to the side. Hey, J Butters. Nothing much. Oh my. Oh. That actually heals me. Cool. Oof. Darn you, Prop Top. No, 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 no. Give me my healing. A little bit more. That should do. Now, let's see. So how's your weekend gaming been, everyone? I know there was at least one major release in the Indie Sphere this week, and most of you know what it is as well. And yes, I will be covering that game sometime in the future because A, it's awesome, and B, it's hilarious to me. And second, a lot of interesting demos, and second, a lot of interesting indies, interesting and exciting indies being announced during the Summer Play. When I say Summer Play, I'm not just referring to the actual Summer Game Fest, but a lot of summer announcements coming out. When I say interesting, just assume some substitutes like cool or amazing. Okay. No! Darn it. Plant barrier. I love how that actually counts. Okay. We're done. Right. You know, if we're gonna do this, welcome to the high damaging corridors if we don't use weapons. The rocks that kill you instantly indeed. Only problem with Cross Worlds is the price. Like $70 at starting price? Yeesh. I played the demo of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and yeah, it's awesome. I've heard nothing but good things for the subsequent 2 chapters. And remember, spoiler rules on the server are in effect. If we're going to talk about this game, please talk about it under gaming spoilers. Well, that means there'll be probably more indie games then. And not to worry, my backlog is already extremely long, so it doesn't matter so much to me. And I don't really play kart racers or racing games in general. It's unfortunate for those who like those sorts of things, though. Those games, I mean, not those sorts of things. I shouldn't be that dismissal of fun stuff. Hey Dave, sure. Cool, good luck, Power. I don't think it's gonna bomb, but... See, from the looks of it and who's working on it, I don't think it's gonna bomb, but... Seriously? As I was saying, I don't think that's gonna bomb, but... Really? Maybe if it was $50, it'd be fine. 60 is already stretching it. But 70, no. And remember, that's base edition. Oh well, unlike Nintendo, it'll actually go on sale at a reasonable time frame. So I have that to look forward to. Ouch. Honestly, I think the rocks falling would be safer. What does Maya stand for? Nothing. Really, I don't think most games are worth $70, but that's just me. I thought I was faster. One sec. Miku is a surprise, yeah. At the same time though, Sega's made a lot of games starring Miku, so... Makes sense. There are plenty of things that were worth buying this year, Sylph. That aren't just the full $60 purchases. Well, it's more than Sonic. If it's Sumo Digital, I trust them. Like, the racing game... The Sumo Digital racing games are pretty good overall. Even Team Sonic Racing, for all of it did weird things it did, I still think it was a solid racer. Oh, it's Simple Power Simplified. I simply didn't have the time or energy to do that. If you've been attending my streams, you know for a fact, and Buster can vouch for that, I'm having a bit of a burnout in terms of maker stuff. And also refresh my memory, what is the Mega Marino League? This past week I've been having to focus on other things to clear up this space for upcoming demos. So I need a brief refresher on that. That also Delta ruining for the past few days. But... Hang on a sec. Wait. So, it's, Crossworlds is a team effort between Sonic Team and the initial D Arcade stage games. So at least half of them I trust. We'll see. I mean, the publisher too has issues, like, yeah. And when I say publisher, I mean Sonic. Not, Sega Sammy. Depends on the game. Some games don't need, a lot of games don't actually need the internet, especially indies. Favorite playable character? Bomb or fireman? Okay. Alright. After 3 failures, we're back here. Okay, word of advice, Power Simplified. Don't do spike falls like this, especially without warning. They're really jerkish, and if they're in the middle of a stage like this, you can easily be caught off guard. And it kind of breaks the flow of the stage, because most of the stage, you don't need to really watch for gotcha moments like this. And same thing here. Don't do this. Most of the level designers and maker moved away from that sort of thing, or if they do include spike falls, they actually announce it, or put another twist in the formula. Now, if the stage mostly consisted of surprise, react quickly moments, like let's say this was a force beam heavy stage, that forced you to get going immediately, I'd have a lot less consternation. My issue with spike falls, or most of them, is that they are functionally the same thing. Most designers don't even add that much variety or change up stuff. That's why when I added my own quote-unquote spike fall section to my Magma 1 stage, I varied it up by actually having gyro blocks so you have more time to react and you can do more advanced platforming. Even back then, almost 10 years ago, I was getting annoyed with how they were used. Okay, let's go. That's 4 fails. And, okay. That was a short escape. In general, I don't really like quick gotcha moments, unless they are not really See, okay, let me clarify that. I don't really like quick gotcha moments if they're instant death. Now, if they damage you instead and focus on forcing you to react quickly, that's a bit of another story. Drill bomb required. Drill mine required. Or spread drill, at least. But again, build a stage around it. Now, there is another context where I don't mind gotcha moments much, but let's just say that it's a bit more complicated there. Well, it was short, but could you have made it at least a few more screens lengthier instead of just 3 or 4? As for games that I feel are worthwhile in this year that have been released, we already talked about Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, but there are plenty of other things. Expedition 33, Blueprints, Repo, Schedule 1, Wonderstop, Citizen Sleeper 2, and a Dream Barbecue for those who are interested in that sort of thing. Mandragora, Nights in Tight Spaces, Dark Deity 2, Grapple Dogs 2, if we're gonna keep going with that. Crashlands 2, Belrogue, Skin Deep, Aaron Shore, Crashlands 2, Ratopia, Haste, Tempest Rising, Dinkum. There are plenty of stuff. There are plenty of exciting things that have been released nowadays in this current year. You just need to stop looking at the AAA. You just need to stop looking at AAA sphere and focus more on indie games to maybe AA. We're gonna push it. This is my same comment to those people who say, there's nothing good anymore to play. There is. Just look at the indie sphere. There are thousands of games that are released every minute nowadays. They have plenty of choice to pick from compared to 20, 30 years ago, and I really appreciate that. I just wish all the devs were paid a living wage. I disagree with 2 decades. The problem with the AAA sphere is that, there's so much money and developer time put in these projects that they become so much of a risk that they end up having to pander to the lower common denominator in order to make sure that they actually get enough revenue to survive. Or to put it another way, they're overly bloated and mediocrely scoped. The whole point of those funds is to hedge your bets, hence the name. Like, if you say in the last 20 years, I completely disagree with that, because then you're gonna not include stuff like The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, BioShock, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Mass Effect. I understand they're not for everyone, but I would never say they're bad. Heck, Breath of the Wild. I was gonna say Half-Life 2, but that's 21 years. Batman Arkham Asylum Trilogy, Uncharted, Far Cry 3. What I'm saying is, I don't want to say there's none. The problem with the AAA sphere is that there's too little risk-taking and too much of the same thing happening over and over and over. And need I go on? You know how much I rib about the Ubisoft open world design? I'm gonna let you in a little secret. If Ubisoft only released a game using that design every 3, 4, or even 5 years, I would complain far less, because the design itself is fine. I would actually say it's pretty fun. I know it's kind of a checklist style open world design, but for a lot of people, including myself, that's fine. It's perfectly fun. A great way to tackle the challenges in whatever order you choose, or mostly whatever order you choose. The problem I and many people share is that Ubisoft releases games with that pretty much same design every year, or more than every year. At least once a year, and that's the issue. So you end up playing the same game over and over and over, with just a different coat of paint. Which can be fine. I don't mind expansion pack sequels. I love playing Mega Man Classic and X, for example. But, too samey. And for people who just play AAA games or 1 or 2 games per year, that is kind of fine because it's not too samey to them because they don't play as many games. Hey Salty, thanks for showing up. I love buying down to make corporate overlords. Yes, feed me more slop, Soulless Publisher, number 38,477,383. Oh yeah, and in many cases they get progressively worse as Usually, most of the time, the publishers try to squeeze out more profits and end up falling down even the good parts of the design. Now, I don't mind refinement. I don't mind streamlining. They aren't a bad thing, but there is a point where there's too much streamlining. Yeah, this is so you can see the messages on Twitch and vice versa, because I know there are a few people who mainly watch on Twitch, and they're lurkers. Anyways, as for the stage, it's eh. The biggest downside is the spikefall sections. I would say just to remove them. They don't really add much to the stage, if anything. They detract more. But my thesis and argument, and I wish Jaden was here, is please focus on indie games, A games, and if you want to stretch it, AA. Like the one AA game I really want, if you're a JRPG fan, would be Expedition 33. I really like how they actually experiment with the combat design and basically turn it into Mario and Luigi meets Persona in terms of the combat system. Alright, number 3 up is Scooter Raceway by Jedi74, 88 plays and a score of 39. One day I will stream Deltarune because, again, it's one of the indie games that I think it's good. No, great. In more than the typical ways, but I'll get into that. Alright, base, let's go. I could have a whole discussion about why I like Deltarune, and not just for the obvious reasons, like the gameplay is a direct evolution of Undertale's. No, one of the main things has to do with the story, or more specifically, its writing. Like the amazing blend of on the surface silly and goofy stuff with a lot more serious underpinnings that come to the forefront later, as well as amazing amounts of foreshadowing, and plenty of stuff for theorists to theorize about. Many which do come true, or even if they don't come true, they're pretty fun they're pretty fun anyways. Oh no. Chapter 5 is coming out in 2026 if all goes well. Oh, Dave the Loser? When I was talking about Mario and Luigi meets Persona, I was referring to the combat system of Expedition 33. In that game, every attack can be dodged or parried. I'll say this. Before I play Deltarune, I'm gonna stream a full true pacifist playthrough of Undertale. And then, sometime after that, I will do Deltarune. And yes, that also includes Undertale Yellow. I'll bring a friend along for that. I won't say anything more about Deltarune and some information because that gets into spoilers. I can see that with issues of Chapter 1. It deliberately starts out simpler. That's rectified with Chapter 2, though. Still, Chapter 1's... Oh. Still, I gotta say that Chapter 1's combat is more involved than Undertale for the most part. Thank goodness for that. Critical hit. Critical hit. Critical hit. Critical hit. Critical hit. Let's reset that. You can start referencing fan games. I get the story reason why that wasn't the case to others. It did result in several hilarious scenes, but yeah, I take your point. Yep, most of the melee weapons in TF2 have an increased crit chance. I saw that Deltarune repaint series, Sylph. Shame what happened to that entire channel. All of them except that don't crit. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. When I said most weapons have a higher chance to most melee weapons have a higher chance to crit, that's what I was alluding to. Let's actually stop messing around and move forwards. Okay, I know what... Oh shoot. Uh-oh. Okay. Point taken. Go, my Jari buddies. An important thing is it's not a spike fall section. I'm just trying to suss... Okay, that makes it a little bit easier. I have 5 E-tanks to spare. Let's just do it this way. Of course makes it immune to that. Why am I not surprised? Also, super weak to treble boost. What? Alright. You wanna play this way? We'll play this way. I really wish they allowed it to be a weakness. That would have been super funny. Or at least give it 1 damage. That'll do too. Do I believe childhood from the future stuff will come to Maker? Maybe. It's one of Jedok's... I know Jedok's novels tend to be okay or decent. This is on the lower side. It just existed. Nice funny romp fest. One moment, need to refresh my throat. Alrighty, 4 up is Sparky Peril, the post-Mega Man tree level by Coffee K2, 4-play score tree. Let's do this. Pardon. As a corner to the previous discussion I had before the previous stage, if I were just to swear off of playing AAA games for the rest of my life, I'd have plenty of stuff to play still in the indie sphere, ROM hacking sphere, and fan games. Like, if I were to cover fan games from almost every property, there'd be more than enough stuff to cover on the channel. Oh boy. Yeah, not rush going that. No thanks. Most people can live without it. I already know how toxic hero shooters can become, or competitive multiplayer games in general. League is really terrible about that, unfortunately. Most MOBAs are. Well, pretty much all MOBAs are. The 1 or 2 exceptions aren't really doing that well nowadays. Oh my goodness, I could have died there. You know, that's actually... I was gonna follow up with another question, Buster, but before that, I want to follow up with a different question. What would you consider to be the start of the quote-unquote AAA era of games? Or the first quote-unquote AAA game? In terms of budget? Like, when we have this whole discussion about if we stop playing the AAA games for the rest of our life, nothing would change, especially new ones. There are also many good AAA games that are released in time memorial. You can still play those, and you have plenty of years of you have plenty of decades of fun times. Because I realized that. Because I realized when making these discussions that, oops. I realized when making these discussions that when we talk about AAA, we also have to realize how far back do we consider before AAA came into fruition exactly. Because I'm pretty sure, like, there were big budget games back in every era. But it only really started to feel like it was ballooning in the, I guess, Xbox 360, PS3 era? Maybe? Oh gosh. Do I have a shield? I got laser. Thank you for not putting any enemies here. A lesser level designer would be kind of jerkish and put an enemy there. Or if they were a Kaiser designer. You know, would you consider the first COD game to be AAA? Let me check that. I know Call of Duty started out as Medal of Honor killer. Sorry, excuse me. COD began as a Medal of Honor killer. And the first Medal of Honor game I would not consider to be AAA. But thank you, Coffee K. That shows that you know what you're doing. And you're not trying to make a brutal experience. Honestly, COD 1 nowadays would be more considered like an single A or double A game because of its weird jank and stuff. Hang on a sec, I will check. Anyways, let's fight Sparky. Of course they fixed... Yeah, they fixed the weakness order. It's a regular old Spark, man. What do you expect? Let's see. I'm looking this up because that's actually an interesting conversation. Okay, the original Call of Duty released in 2003 by Infinity Ward. The budget was $4.5 million. That is quite quaint if you look back at it nowadays. That was the... Oh. That was actually the PS3, Xbox 360 era. I thought it was in the PS2 era. Sheesh. It's... It's kind of fun. I'll get to the point, Coffee. It's kind of funny because we consider COD to be one of the best examples of AAA slop nowadays. And yet, it debuted at the start of the era which introduced AAAs as basically as a quote-unquote single-A game. Like $5 million basically. That is basically single-A or indie game budget spear now. And it was the Medal of Honor out as Assault Killer. Let me check. Honestly, the first Call of Duty game to be quote-unquote AAA, I'd say, was Modern Warfare. But let me double check to make sure. Come on, it's just giving me the remake. I want the original. Okay, the original budget for Modern Warfare AK-4 was $200 million. So, and that's when the series really felt like it grew up and actually understood what it was trying to do. And kind of ruined the market because everyone else tried to follow the realist brown aesthetic and most of its design principles without actually understanding how they worked. So yeah. As for your level, Coffee K, it's it just felt like kind of like not even really DLC. It just felt like a challenge or extra level version of Sparkman stage, without really much to distinguish it from the base stage. I mean, I guess the best part are the extended sections where you jump and stuff, but that just increases the feeling that just feels like a challenge like one of those challenge stages. I mean, there's also that Buster, but I feel like the many other studios that tried to ape their success understood their decisions even less. But we can have another But if I were to actually get into that whole discussion of properly understanding it, I would actually need to play the game for real and actually be into FPS shooters and the history of it, and that would take at least to 20 different streams. Like, we can have at least a 10-stream discussion of how Modern Warfare affected the entire industry for good and especially bad. But please, let's save that for another year. That being said, I don't really like the franchise for many reasons. If you're wondering if I'm sympathetic, no. If we're going to say me sympathetic, I'm only going to be sympathetic up to maybe Modern Warfare 1, but after that, no. It's one of the best examples of AAA slop and yearly releases that are basically just expansion packs or DLC packs. Like, the only games you could really, I would actually somewhat vouch for are MW1, 2, and maybe Advanced Warfare, but that's a huge stretch. Okay, going back to Coffee Case Stage, sorry about all the diversions into the video game industry. Halo's another franchise which we could have another series of discussions about, stretching several streams, but I want to at least play a few of those games first. As I appreciate it goes in a different direction, instead of the whole quote-unquote modern FPS style. My issue basically ends up being, when I say DLC pack, expansion pack, I mean very samey ones similar to what Ubisoft did with open world game releases. Halo is interesting for it kind of straddling the line between more classic retro FPSs and the quote-unquote modern style, but we'll save the discussion for another month. As for the stage, yeah, the Mega Man 3 weapons and mechanics aren't that diverse, but with the mechanics, you can actually stretch them fairly far if you know what you're doing. Try using them beyond what they were used in the base game, and try using them in more non-conventional fashions, is what I'm saying. The easy button is to start introducing. The easy button would be to start introducing gimmicks from other stages or other games. But at least with Sparkman stage, you can actually make some elaborate challenges involving the rolling cogs and the Sparkman platforms. Especially the Sparkman platforms, because you can have some interesting sorts of jumping challenges, or having to force them to be positioned in particular ways. Or have a vertical section where you have to climb up using the Sparkman platforms and cogs. You can have something like that. But I'd say it's a little bit better than your previous stage, but you have a ways to go. My suggestion for your future level is, try introducing some gimmicks from other stages in Mega Man 3. At this point, you aren't really skilled enough to use the base assets that are limited to the same Mega Man 3 level. Which is fine, I'm not either. Same, J Butters, likewise. Alright, fifth up is Mega Man Unknown 14 Fiesta Man Taco Tower by Neko Dave, 19th place score 4. Let's do it! Speaking of someone who actually improved a lot more than I expected they would. Like when I initially played Dave's levels, starting with, I think, Unknowns 1 or 4, I was very unimpressed. And after playing 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe 10... Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit, but after playing several of the level packs which are just numbered like that, I was worried there were going to be another one of those... Let's pretend that didn't happen. I was worried there were going to be one of those designers who just didn't really learn and just was just throwing things at the wall to see what worked and sticked. Just very iterative without much improvement, and I fell again. Wow, that shield attacker is in a bad spot. Annoying spot. But that's more me. But actually, with the introduction of 13 and 14, they made some noticeable progress. As a matter of fact, they did actually send me an unknown level pack earlier, but I kind of denied it because I was worried I wasn't going to see any improvement. But lo and behold, they actually did improve. The levels have gone from being blah to actually decent. Their boss room designs have been always decent, but now the level designs has caught up. So bravo, Dave, bravo. You've proven me wrong. Yeah, I feel that most Mega Man stages would... Yeah, I feel that most Mega Man Classic stages work best with 2 gimmicks. It can work with 1 if that gimmick is advanced enough. Sometimes 2 is not even enough, depending on how simplistic the gimmicks are, or what they're trying to aim for. Okay, hit the targets. It's called Taco Tower, but we're kind of missing, I was just a few steps off. Alright, I'm gonna have to put my serious face on, I'm screwing up too much. I don't like that enemy placement. Everything else is an improvement. My weight is fine. No, J-Butters. That's more interesting than Maker, so keep going. Noel's a great character. Well, all the main characters in Deltarune are great. She does have the best sparing ability in the entire game, I agree. Also, when you're playing as her, you only have 2 party members, her and Chris. Oh my gosh, I can do the funny and break the stage. Oh my. Yes! Well, to be fair, Noelle gets more of the screen time in Chapter 2 of the first 2 chapters. So, it makes sense you get the best moments there. Like, of the first 2 chapters, at least 90% of Noelle's screen time is in that chapter, in the second chapter. So, I like Rousey, but, or Rousey. He's an adorable little cute fluff ball. Protect. But, I want to say more to you, J Butters, but if I do that, I'll go into spoiler territory, so no. Sorry. Beep. Now, if I was streaming Ruin of Delta, I would tell you, but... like, everything I'm talking about here is from Deltarune. Oh, shoot. I got tricked. I got japed. Everything I'm talking about here is stuff from Chapter 1 and 2. So I'm being really careful. Oh yes, the boss fight of Oops, can't say that either. Honestly, knowing Toby, that could be a potential boss fight. If only we could crush him with the balloons. Indeed I can, it's just that I didn't really talk about it on the channel, so I'm doing it here. I did it backwards. Oops. I mean, I'm just gonna make this go a bit fast. Oh, I can't make this go faster. He's immune to that. GG. Boss room is interesting, but I think the fight goes on for a little bit too long. Like, he didn't really need to have effectively 28 HP. So overall, I think I liked your previous U14 stage more. This is fine, I guess, but it doesn't really... Okay, the main gimmicks of jumping on the balloons and using them to destroy the targets, it's neat, but it never gets elaborated on that much. It does get elaborated a bit on the final screen, but even then it's too simplistic for my taste. This either needed a third gimmick or needed to have more advanced balloon setups. Hey Proto Player, aka Eduardo. The boss room is fine because it's a different one, and I don't like adding new gimmicks either to boss rooms, unless it's really specific or it's a fortress boss. But, the stage itself is... Yeah, I tried my best not to use the Buster. When I tried to use the bouncy balls at the end, I couldn't anyways. I would say either go with more advanced setups, but I can... Now that I think about it, I understand why you didn't, because it could make the stage too complicated or difficult. So instead, add another gimmick here. It goes back to what I was saying in the sense that I feel most Mega Classic stages, they require 2 gimmicks in order to last for about 25 screens or more. Sometimes more if the gimmicks aren't complex enough. And you don't even need to look at Kaizo levels, you can also look at fortress stages, special weapon oriented stages, or even non-traditional levels in general. Like this could be fine, the battle against Top Man would be fine if he had half the HP. Or there was something more happening that justified having 28 HP. With the HP setters and HP gates, you could potentially have 2 different boss rooms, and have the health carry over that way. As it stands right now, it's... Sorry, Dave. Okay, 6th up is Excavation Site, Original Stage by Protoman 1987, 21 plays, and a score of 8. Eduardo's levels tend to be on a decent side at the very least. Let's go. Sure. My issue with, I'm describing this just in case. My issue with Top Man is that he's a fairly basic fight in a rectangular room. Like, he only has 2 attacks. Trying to spin ram into you... And then after that, after he waits a while on the edge of the screen, he then throws those 3 tops which home in their last position, and then rinse and repeat. That's why he's a fairly basic fight, but that's why he's a fairly basic and predictable encounter, which is why the better encounters against him in Maker, they tend to place him in a different boss arena. I don't mind easy fights. What I don't like as much is bland fights. Okay, promising. Entering the stone quarry. Aesthetics and design-wise, nice progression, and getting our feet wet very soon. Oh, don't worry, Dave the Loser. There are 2 users who are far worse about asking questions about absolutely everything. You are nowhere close to there right now, Dave. Using an elevated platform he can only access by dashing on the balloons to make the fight more interesting. I guess so. The one way you made the fight more interesting in your stage is by introducing the balloons, so that actually changed where he would fall and dash from, and because it changes elevation. I mean, another thing I could do to make this fight more interesting is to increase the length of the room, or increase the size of the room so he has more space to roll around or spin around. Or have it be like a chase gauntlet or something, where you have to chase Top Man or race against them in order to reach the switch that will drop him into the spike pit or something. Like, the best Top Man encounters nowadays are ones where you race him or find him in a gauntlet of sorts, similar to what Jay Butter said. I know the overall design is a bit overused now, but with how it's set up nowadays, I know it's kind of an overused setup nowadays, but because of how the idea works, you have plenty of avenues to vary up the design. Because you basically turn the boss fight into an elaborate platforming challenge, and there are hundreds of gimmicks present. There are hundreds of enemies and gimmicks present in Maker that you can pick from. Heck, you can even make the boss fight itself act as the elaborate climax of the stage, because usually in most traditional Mega Man stages, the stage climax is just before the boss fight. But if you include a gauntlet like that, you can make the boss fight itself the climax. Some ideas may be overused, but not all overuses are the same. Especially when the use or gimmick or overall idea has a lot more flexibility than others. And some general design paradigms are quote-unquote overused because they actually work. Like, one of them I keep harping about is the way the Mega Man Classic stages, traditional specifically, introduce new gimmicks. You know, start blank, introduce idea A, escalate on that, take a break, introduce idea B, escalate on that, take a break, then combine A and B together, escalate on both of them to combine, do the climactic section where everything comes together, enter a boss corridor, and then the boss fight, which may or may not include one of the central gimmicks of the stage. Stage done. That is actually kind of overused in Mega Man Classic stage design, but it really works, especially with how flexible you can make ideas A and B and what the escalation actually looks like. The way I describe it is in an oversimplified manner, but That's the general gist of it. Oops, didn't mean to use that. I need to collect these knot bolts. See, the way the rocks are used here is a lot better compared to Power Simplified level. In general, this feels like a better take on Power Simplified's level teams. It features a similar level team, but the crucial difference is that A, no sudden spike falls, and B, the rocks feel like they're less ambushing you and more of a timing challenge. Not to mention the overall level design itself is more polished. This is the first stage today I consider to be decent, and as such, it's currently my favorite level of the episode. Also, multiple avenues of speedrunning it thanks to Super Arrow. And now, time for our shot before the boss fight. Yeah, at least there are Mega Man 5's crystals, oh my goodness. Those were fixed in the Megamix engine. Because there's a way to force them to show when they're actually gonna drop. Even if their timings are slightly different each time, there's a visual indicator. Anyways, let's fight. Another reason why the Top Man encounter took so long is I didn't have a charge shot. With a charge shot, it's fine. Risk versus reward and all that. Oh, hi, Jaden! Welcome to the stream. We didn't actually expect you to show up. At the very least, decent work in 1987. Pat yourself on the back. Well, Deltarune as well as general video game industry discussion. True that. That is also on me, though. You're right. That's fair, Jaden. Enjoy that experience more than this one. You can always just watch the recorded version later. There'll be plenty of streams in the future, but there won't be as many trips to your location, so enjoy that, please. Come back later. Oh, I didn't want Sharkman yet. I want the Frozen Factory. See ya, Buster! Oh yeah, for those wondering, I am not gonna have a stream tomorrow, or tonight. Why, you may ask? Steam Next Fest demos, need to record them, as well as take stock. I will have demo streams on Monday, on several weekdays during the Next Fest, so look forward to those. Alright, 7th up is Frozen Factory by Ryu3482. 151 plays, score 69. So yeah, once the Steam Next Fest formally starts, I'll allow you to offer suggestions of what demos to cover. Only primary and secondaries, please. Alright, aesthetics are already pretty good looking. Let's hope the stage design is at least half as good as the aesthetics. Like, this is some of the best aesthetics I've seen today. When I say aesthetics, I mean graphics. When I say aesthetics, I mean the choice of graphics, tile sets, foregrounds, backgrounds, enemies, and how they all fit together. Yeah, shame this has the dodge roll. Blocked, reported. Reported for roll libel. You can do it right now, Jaden, if you're not too busy. Because the next stream you'll be able to do it on would be Monday evening, so keep that in mind. Like, I already have a list of 10 demos I want to cover, roughly 10 demos, and you can add to that list once the full list of games showcased will show up on Monday. Oh, don't worry, Dave. I'm bad at making aesthetics as well. Really bad at them. And my whole perception on art is not as good as artists. Squiddy. I am not going to cover the later game due to, Okay, I can cover Starlight Revolver. The latter game, I'm not going to cover on the channel for... Well... If you know, you know. So yeah, on Monday evening, I'll cover Starlight Revolver. How about that? Okay, no, I'm not timing up this. Sorry. This suffers from the same curse that most levels that hit the most popular queue do, which is that this is too short. It's half the length, or at least 60% of the length it should be. Which is a real shame because the game itself it's great. I've seen the demo. It's just that, until a certain thing happens to the staff, some changes, I don't feel comfortable covering it. Besides, there are thousands of other indie games I want to showcase here. It's not much of a loss for me. If anything, I'm going to use a combination of stuff I find from YouTube recommendations, recommendations from mutuals, stuff on Blue Sky and Mastodon, recommendations from you viewers, of course, and the Steam recommender. Because let me tell you, the Steam recommendation algorithm for me is actually scarily accurate to my interests. Like, it keeps consistently pulling out indie bangers for me to try out. Like, if they were an active user on the stream, they'd be able to accurately predict 80% of the games I would like to cover on the channel. Maybe even 90% on a good day. Okay, let's do one more level by Oscar, see if someone else made a level in the Discord server, and then I'll probably close off. To be fair, Steam has an advantage. The Steam recommendation algorithm knows what games I've played, what games, store pages I've seen, what I put on my wish list, as well as what my friends' play games are, so it can integrate all that knowledge together, as well as see what other players like me like to play, and spit out the recommendations based off of those. Oh shoot, I didn't see your level, Sunflora. You know what, let's do it now then. Eight up is Toxic Junkyard by Sunflora Zumaril, 74 plays, score 24. Alright, I can depend on you to have a decent stage. Hint, when it rains, look up at the sky as you go through the level. You might notice something. Junkman! Broodbuster is cool, but I would like to hear a different battle team for future chapters. Give me an E. Whoa. Sure. Purple, green, and then the breakable blocks. I don't know if I go with this combination of the purple, gray, and green. Purple and green's fine, but having the breakable blocks be a similar color can... Well, at least here it doesn't cause problems, but it could. Oh shoot. Let me in. Well, at least it's not a death pit. Toxic pit. Danger, meds. Forcing us to tap jump. Quicksand and waterfall. Oh shoot, oh shoot, shoot. Wait. I didn't mean to go down the stairs, but... I see that. Not that scary, is it? As long as I'm attentive. Wait. Go. What is that thing? Oh! There is a wall cannon right over here, hiding behind the vase, the maw. Oh, okay. I don't know if I answered your question, I got mixed up. How many level samples would you prefer to take? I'll take 2 or 3 more. And then I'll cover the whole pack later. I'd advise setting your best regular stages, and save the fortress stages and the rest of the arm stages for the full playthrough. It's a giant scrap serpent. You said to keep an eye on the sky. Aha! Arrow! Bingo! I know, spike fall, but there was an arrow. Whoops. Yes, another stage with great aesthetics, although it's a little bit more overwhelming compared to Ryu's level. I think I like Ryu's aesthetics the most, followed by Eduardo, and then followed by this one. None of them are... This is not bad, but it's just a bit overwhelming. Especially outdoors with the mixing and matching of junk blocks. Right, I don't actually have dodge roll. One of the few places where that actually would come in handy. Let me in! Hey, Metal. Okay, that makes him a kind of a chump. But it's a weakness, so I'll take it. In boss fight. Because we can't spawn elevators, this is not Megamix. Yes, just in case we run out of Metal Blade energy. Good thinking. And this is the regular route. I think in terms of the actual stage progression and difficulty and how much I like the stage, this is currently my favorite level of the episode. But if we're talking about in combination with the aesthetics and everything put together, I think Eduardo's stage is a little bit better. But in terms of stage design alone, I think this is better. Or to put it another way, if we're talking about the overall package, I think Eduardo's stage is a little bit better. But stage design alone, this thing. So, I'll mark this as being my favorite level. Just like the start of the stage. Spawning objects after boss, mid-boss stats would go so hard. Especially for Kaizos and died Kaizos. I'm really afraid what died Kaizos will do with that. Like, if you can spawn arbitrary objects after a boss dies, well, the sky is almost the limit. It's not as powerful as what you can do in Megamix, where you can just run arbitrary code for the most part after a boss perishes, or really after anything perishes, and various other things. That there is the sky's the limit for real. Oh look! The Metal Serpent again. It crashed inside here. It's not quite sky's the limit as that thing in Megamix, but it's close enough. It's like being able to enter the lower stratosphere. It's like being able to enter the lower exosphere. Whereas in Megamix you can straight up go into space. I don't know if my analogy actually holds up, but... I guess for Maker, what you could do is make it so that... update the boss stat conditional so that you can make it so you can spawn arbitrary objects. Like, limited to only bosses for now, and make it so they can spawn, I guess, most objects. Enemies, enemies, collectibles, maybe gimmicks. That depends though. At least other enemies and collectibles, that'll do. Or heck, let's be funny, make it so that when you defeat a boss, they can spawn another boss. Like, if I really wanted to go really far, make it so that if you defeat a boss, they can spawn pretty much any interactable object. Or if you really want to take it further for a penultimate or final update to the game, make it so that you can actually make it so that when an enemy dies, you can actually force them to spawn any object. Don't just limit it to the bosses, apply it to every enemy. Imagine the chaos that can, imagine all the creativity and chaos that can be generated there. And no, and Buster would pop up and say, "This is why we can't have nice things." Yeah, I make it a second conditional. Yeah, make it a second controller. I mean, if you really want to take it further for a final update, have it so you can chain objects together. Like, you can create an object but place it in some sort of hammer space, and it can only be spawned when another enemy or boss actually spawns it upon perishing. Of course, then you can pretty much have infinite almost infinite chains, but that sounds great. If we're gonna have a swan song for Mega Man Maker, let's just blow the doors off their hinges and just allow that. Again, not to the same extent of how many crazy things you can do in Megamix. I say crazy things in Megamix without modding the engine or adding custom code, but still. Okay, fair and lovely episode for the reasons I outlined during the stage. Good job. Please wait one moment, I'll be right back. 2 minutes, please. And I returned. Alright. Let's see, no more level submissions, so I'll end with this stage. Well, hang on a moment. Let's see... Here. You kill a man and it drops a Hogali on the player. It's so close to the perfect timeline. Perhaps. I'm just copying the level names around, so give me one moment. Okay, we're good. So the ninth and wait. Yeah. Okay. So the ninth and final level of the stream is Arkanoid Madness 2 DX by Oscar. 28 plays and a score of 8. The individual boards are going to be fun, but I don't really have much hope about the stage due to the many reasons I've outlined in one of Oscar's previous stages. S1. Oh look, Minecraft Steve. Message retracted. You mean this month? If we're really in a time loop, we would be talking about Deltarune again. Huh? What? What happened? Excuse me? It just gives a large life pickup. What? See, this time it didn't glitch out. It just gives a large life pickup. When did you make this stage, by the way? That doesn't seem right. Again, when did you make the stage? Was it on 1.9.4.3? I think an update broke your stage. Like, it should drop a key, and I know it has to because otherwise the stage is unwinnable. And you must have been able to do, and it must have originally dropped a key, otherwise you would not have been able to upload the stage. Okay. I'm gonna put my thinking cap on and figure out what's happening. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's a key. And haha, it's a live pickup here. Okay, something changed it. These are live pickups. Okay, for some reason that got changed, so I'm just gonna take the easy route. Ding. J Butters, this level had to be playtested in the sense that in order for the stage to be beatable, there has to be a key here. An update broke the stage. This is not one of the situations where, due to an overlooking the design, the stage becomes you can end up soft-locking yourself. This is such an obvious bug that if you tried playing through the stage when uploading it, you would immediately realize it's unwinnable. Like, this is one of those things you have to come across. This is one of those things that you're forced to come across as a player, as it's on the mandatory path. So, yeah. Okay, go on, J Butters. What causes this bug? Okay, it didn't take that long to get to the boss fight, thankfully. Yeah, I'm gonna chalk this up to being an update broke the stage. Like, if you're able to upload the stage and 200 people played it and beat it, it seems like an update. And it only happened once so far, so it's even more baffling. The other thing I can think of is that the download got corrupted somehow, but that doesn't make sense either. Oscar. When Lunacris and Mop Butters played through the stage, did they play through the stage by downloading it from the server? Like, how did they play the stage? Game? I would like to throw this. Okay. They played the level before it updated, got it. What makes it even more baffling to me is that this is a somewhat basic thing in this engine. Okay, this is a somewhat intermediate thing in this engine. Why did this one random room get changed with the targets? Why aren't you like... I'm really baffled why it doesn't allow me to just use it again like that. Oh well. Yeah, it has to be the devs because I'm really going over this point over and over. Sorry for the folks watching, is that it's just so baffling to me. If it were to happen, I would expect it to affect most of the targets like in the stage. But that's just me. Chalk this up to being another example of a maker moment. Hi, Eyes. Hi, Crying Skull. I'd rather have a discussion about Smurf reproduction here. That is, let's try keeping this stream a little bit cleaner. I get having unready discussions, but there's a limit. Don't push it too far. I understand that rule, Sunflora, but the issue with that is that that's really exploitable. Like, just imagine someone submitting a beatable level and then using the online editor to make the stage unbeatable. So let's square the difference. Give players the ability to edit their stages in online mode. However, once they do the edit, they are forced to beat the stage with the new changes before the edits actually take effect fully. Then that's fair, Sunflora. Then I'm all for it then. Anyways, that distraction aside, welcome to Arkanoid Part 2. I need healing, so I'll get some healing first. Okay, how do we do this? Got it. Let me in. I wish I had a separate button for using the Mega Ball like this. It's annoying when it decides no, you can only kick here. Hi there. Hopefully there's only one more section before the full boss fight on the stage. The stage does feel a bit shorter than the last iteration of this, and there's more variety, so thank you, but wait and see. Okay. Okay, that sounds really exploitable, but stick with me here. Never mind, I lost it. Bye. Yeah, overriding stage data like that is quite exploitable. And remember, I understand doing that for something like Mega Mix because of more control and more onus on the player, but for a level design game like this, you don't want to do that. Okay, I'm switching. Give me a sec. These is a little bit more variety than that. Oh, shoot. Two bosses and the keys. Okay. Faster than I thought it would. Hello? I see. Princess Luna? I think? Come on, I know I can kick this. There we go. Yeah, by a particular user, unfortunately. I understand it was funny initially, but yeah. There was a point where I was just groaning, and come on, did we really need another dancing cactus this soon? There are billions of memes being posted on a minute-to-minute basis. Maybe I'm exaggerating. That we having the same one, come on, this screams unoriginality to me. Okay, Sylph. Yeah, stars don't really serve that much of a purpose anyways. Especially due to some of the weird bugs or quirks stages have, and how there are a few stages that mark as being complete even though I did use a level editor because of a lacking checkpoint or whatever. Hey Tedley, welcome. I'm finishing off the stream here. But yeah, I think that was Princess Luna, I'm not sure. Let me know if I'm right. Wait until the next stream. Actually, just send it now. As for whether I'll have a stream next week for Mega Man Maker, I'll think about it. Unfortunately, this week only really had 3 what I consider to be enjoyable stages. Those would be yours, Protoman's, and Sunflora's. The rest were kind of eh. Okay, Geonox stage was somewhat okay, and Oscar's first level was kind of funny. I'll give it that. It is. And yes, controller. Thank you. Okay, this stage actually felt shorter than the last iteration, mainly as it felt like it had different each screen had different gimmicks and more variety that way. Let me go! Oh. Help! I'm getting trapped here. I'm dead. I'm going to eventually watch the Minecraft film, but after I do some other things. No! Bye! Thank you, Tedley, and thank you, Sunflower. I'll save it for the next stream, whether that be next week or the week after that. So glitch aside, better version of Arkanoid, the stage by Oscar, but eh. So overall, of the 9 levels I covered in today's morning stream, my favorite one would be Toxic Junkyard by Sunflower Azumarill, with an honorable mention going to Excavation Site by Protoman 1987. Good job, you two. And thank you to everyone else who submitted your levels to me. It's really appreciated. Alrighty then, time for the art showcase. I am not going to show this as this is the Deltarune spoiler, a major one. Just a forest log by Pixel Boy. And this animation by FedAG. So let's watch it. A passion to be shared. City of Wolves animation. Okay. If Jaden was here to be able to co-commentate on this. Yeah. What's up, Terry? Aw. New fighting game player. Yeah, that's me. That's me when I was the first time I PvP'd someone in a fighting game. Why? Got 1 point. Oh my gosh, you got 2 hits in. He's actually improving a lot faster than I would. Through the years. And at last, he defeats Terry. Now he returns the favor. Indeed. Frankly, nowadays, most fighting games wouldn't be able to survive without their dedicated community. I may not be interested in fighting games. I may be terrible at fighting games overall, but most of them are a thrill to watch, especially at the high levels of play. Gotcha, Tedley. Just played a game with 250 mods. 255 mods. Those are amateur numbers. Just kidding. In any case, this marks the end of the stream. Thank you to everyone who either submitted their levels, submitted their art, or simply participated in chat. It's due to your continued support why I continue to produce new videos for the channel. It's really appreciated. So, if you're enjoying this or any other video on the channel, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help it out. Don't forget to follow me on Blue Sky and Mastodon as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all later. See you all Monday evening.